Great to have you here. Great to be back in Johannesburg. It's been more than 2 years since I last came here. And of course, I fell in love with the country and with the city. And it's been an amazing couple of years, a lot of ups and downs. And I cannot forget the day I met Andrew. I was in Chennai, our headquarters in India, for our managers meeting. And Andrew was one of our most persistent customers, if I may say. So we traveled to India and with a lot of questions, with a lot of good points and insights. And it was his birthday. So we just met over a drink and one thing led to another. And now he's our country manager. He's actually heading almost the entire continent. So from employee number one in Africa to a large team today and an office that we just opened, we're going to give you a teaser. It's been quite a journey. So I quickly take you through who we are and what we've done and what the vision is for the country, and then we ease into the rest of the day and look more at the products and other things. And of course, me and the rest of the team are available to you with all your questions. This year we have celebrated 25 years of, I would call excellence. I've been a Zoho user since 2008, but I've joined the company 3 years ago. I've been always impressed with what Zoho has been doing, and I'm blessed to now say that what we have been doing. So 25 years, it started from a tiny company, startup, which actually kept the DNA still with us, to a large tech provider globally. Today, after 25 years, we managed to build a platform of 50 plus applications to make sure that businesses of all sizes can run their entire business in the cloud. We're present almost everywhere. We are serving 70 million users, hundreds of thousands of businesses of all sizes and all sectors. The team has grown from, when I joined, it was around 5,500, just 3 years ago. We have 10,000 people today. And I promise you, it's very efficient. We wear a lot of hats. It's not just a large organization. So I'm half a million customers. Yeah. Globally, we have presence in everywhere, but in some countries we chose to have offices. One of them is South Africa. And also the red dots that you see are our data centers. We do not rent any hardware or software from anybody else. Every single bit of information is on Zoho's property. And that's about privacy, which we're going to touch on in a moment. Well, that's another proud point for us. We are bootstrapped and profitable. We never raised money outside the income of the company itself. And of course, initially, probably the founder raised some money from his own savings, but we always said no to acquisitions, to mergers, to venture capital. Nothing wrong with that, but it's a part of our philosophy to make sure that we grow more responsibly. Not reporting to shareholders and creating value for shareholders helps us do more R&D and stay very competitive and stay very innovative. Employees are on top of our agenda. We always have customer experience and employee experience at the same level. And so we do not treat our team members the way a large corporation does. Usually we try to be very conscious of that. The larger you grow, the more traits you might get from larger companies. We still want to keep that DNA to make sure that employees are actually our family members. We are in fact probably the only major tech company that did not downsize during the pandemic. We actually hired a lot of people. We are laser focused on privacy. This is religious for us. No ads for revenue. You will never see any single ad on Zoho's platform, even if you're using our free software. There are no sales of your data. Your data is private to you and the encrypted system in our servers. There are no third-party trackers. When you're on Zoho, either the public website or the apps, none of the other trackers, analytics from third parties, social media, Pixel, and all of those things, none of it exists. Actually, I'm also getting a marketing effort in the region, and this costs us a lot. When you don't monitor, you don't analyze the way major providers do, we have to find other ways. We have to be creative to make sure that our message is transferred properly. No third-party hosting. Every bit of information is on our own data centers, and we're building more and more data centers. The latest will be in the Middle East as well, and then we have one plan for South Africa in the coming years. So all of this leads to no adjunct surveillance. Our property, our rule, nobody's allowed to snoop it on your data or on your activity. Well, another slide on this one, we are GDPR and public compliant. For us, it's very important to be compliant with the law, but before regulations, we always look at the morality and ethics of privacy. If you go back, find our privacy statement or policies from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you can see that we actually are quite different from other providers. Two-factor authentication, encryptions, all the standards that are needed or recommended today to make sure that your data is protected are there. That's why we are not a software company anymore. We have become a technology company. And what is the distinction here? Because we made a horizontal, vertical, and contextual integration across hardware, software, and the process. So by horizontal, I mean the number of applications. In a typical scenario, you have multiple app software from multiple vendors with multiple terms and conditions, billing support, etc., etc. We try to bring it together. Vertical is about features, is about what these apps can do within themselves and among other apps, integrated with other apps. And contextual is the entire customer journey or employee journey within the software that was made possible because we have a full stack approach. We started building our own hardware, our own databases, our own software. So from the UI that you see, from the very experience in your pocket, when you have a Zoho app on your phone, to the underlying infrastructure, everything is being made best. For you, this means a better customer experience. You are our customer. Your employees are our customers. So their customer experience is as important as the experience of your customers. This is the distinction here. If you have a better customer experience within the organization, in turn, your customers will have a better experience than we have here. So we made sure that the experience is unified, which leads to better performances, productivity, your ROI is up, your TCO will come down, and they're also CV integrated. As I said, return on investment is higher because the learning curve is lower, you're dealing with less software, less training, less onboarding, less risk of losing or leaking your data, and this will in turn lower your costs. And this gives you a certainty of what to expect. Let's look at how we've been doing in the past couple of years. To look at our growth in the past years, we have to divide it into four areas. Number of registrations, new customers, new users, either businesses who want to move to digital systems, going through the digital transformation journey, or the customers who already have other software that they want to migrate to Zoho. And the customers themselves, a number of them, the revenue that comes, and there's nothing shy about that because we're a for-profit business after all, and the way we can serve you and it will serve us more. And the retention, which is very key in any industry, especially ours. In terms of registration, you can see our growth has been better than linear. In 2020, we had 62.4 million active users, and today it's more than 70 million. The official statement is 70, but it's actually more than 70 million. The growth has been really good. In terms of customer growth, you can also see that these are, by the way, indexed. These are not real numbers. As a private company, we're not allowed to expose exact numbers, but you can see the growth has been still at 30% growth in the last 5 years. Okay, the revenue growth has been also around 34 years in the past 5 years, and in the past year or two, We have a little bit of a dent in it, but because of the initiatives we had, and of course, we've been through a pandemic. So the growth has been great. All right, customer retention is key, especially when you're selling software as a service. Loyalty of a customer is probably a few seconds. If they find something more interesting, cheaper, shinier, they might just migrate if they can. And we let customers to migrate away. We do not hold anybody's data or information hostage. It's not like the unsubscribe button or the delete button is hidden in 15 other layers and you have to talk to 10 other customer service people. Your data, take it, they actually help you if you like. But we are confident that people actually stay. This at 2.9% churn rate, like almost 3% of our users leave our system. This is industry leading. Usually it's around 3.5, that ranges in technology. So we are so happy and so humbled actually to see that our users love to stay with us for many years. Okay. Well, we're still allowed to talk about the pandemic. I can still make some references in a few months. But it's been a tough year. There's no doubt about that. And we, like every other company, we went to survival mode.
That's the longest I have.
For two reasons. To make sure that we still can keep every single employee. We don't need to downsize. We do not need to impact our plans. And also to be able to help our customers who are dealing with difficult times. However, to our surprise, as I said, we cut excess budgets. Marketing was the first budget that was cut. We started innovating, adding software, and also giving back to the community in many ways, which I will list in a couple of slides here. The Esap program was to help customers who were hit by the pandemic to apply for the program, and a number of their bills would have been forgiven. So I believe it was at least up to 3 months of bills completely free of charge if they met a couple of criteria. We launched remotely. This was a temporary solution. It was free of charge. If you're familiar with Workplace, there's a session about that, a bunch of other apps. The apps that help you work remotely. In that chaos that we moved from the office, we just left the office, moved to home, some to the beaches. They never told us. So we had remotely to help you stay productive and pretend that you're still in the office.
We just might be able to get
we decommissioned that and we moved to another solution, but we still have the apps and the new generation of the apps with the hybrid workspace. The Zoho Back to Work was another one, very useful for companies with a large workforce. Let's say if you have a lot of staff in a factory, in an assembly line, bringing them back, a lot of safety, health and safety measures was needed to be done. So we implemented this app specifically for that.
The stream
if you're familiar with Zoho Creator, the Creator the team actually got to help non-for-profits, other organizations, helping with the frontline workers, of course, free of charge, and helping them stay on top of their game from a technology perspective during the pandemic. There's a number of other initiatives in terms of just community initiatives, which I'm not going to bore you with, but we really try to give back to the community because we owe our customers and our communities that. Growth in our region has been phenomenal. Middle East and Africa is the fastest growing region in the world within Zoho. And yes, the size is still small. North America is still our largest market 25 years later, but we've been growing really steadily. You can see that still, despite everything, and this is revenues, not just the number of users, we grew around 30% during the pandemic. And this year, first 3 quarters only, we have 54% growth compared to the similar period last year. Again, we're expecting a much better closure to the year, and this is thanks to you, our customers, and our partners. The year-on-year growth has been around 50%, which is not bad. The vertical, if this is your first time coming in getting to know Zoho, or you're a new partner, you might wonder, is Zoho suitable for my industry or the size of business I'm doing? So you can see that we pretty much cover all industries, of course, historically, IT-related businesses, service businesses, take a bigger chunk of the market share, but we're growing into other spaces pretty equally as well. In terms of by company size, our sweet spot is the companies of 50 to 200 users, not necessarily employees, because not every employee is a user, but this is our sweet spot, and this is the SME sector that we're covering. We're moving to the enterprise more and more, and I have an example to show you. However, because of the focus that we have in the past 25 years, SMEs are still the sweet spot. These are some of our customers. Actually, in the middle, you can't see the color actually, but Quicket, RSA Web, PaySpace, and Hospitality Technology International. These are some of the South African brands that we have the privilege to be serving. And the rest is our brag board to show you some big logos to express you who we're serving, so they don't need any introduction. We do have hundreds, if not thousands of other customers, but we're not allowed to put everybody's logo out there. We can tell you later. Growth in South Africa, it's been amazing. And I tell you, to be fair, except the past few years since Andrew joined and started doing forming the team, and we sent people from the head office, our growth has been organic. So we just let it grow. But in the past 3 years, we really started focusing on South Africa, and it amazed us how high potential and educated and let's say enthusiastic the market is within that digital transformation journey. In terms of numbers, United Arab Emirates, when I lived, Dubai is still number one in terms of the size of the market. It's a very mature market. And number two in the whole region is South Africa. This is in comparison with countries like Saudi Arabia, a large country with a lot of money to spend on technology, and Israel, which is, this typo is mine. The third country is KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Number 4 is Israel. I apologize for that. That's my doing. And Israel, a technologically advanced country. So you can see South Africa is in such a good position. And I believe we have not scratched the surface. We are at probably 20-25% potential. So we still have 75% more to grow easily. Top products, you might be familiar with Zoho One, CRM, Desk, Books, and Crew Leader. We'll have a look at these throughout today, what these apps do and why they're so successful globally and also the region. In South Africa, we have a very impressive growth, almost 50% last year during the pandemic. And I know that South Africa has faced a couple of other challenges in addition to the pandemic itself. So it's been quite a persevering and consistent market. And this year, 3 quarters only, we see 52% growth, quite matching the whole region. So the strategic partnerships, why do we do that? So we are serving customers who are businesses of all sizes, but we also have to get into the community, speak with the academia, with the decision makers, government, semi-government organizations, telcos, insurance companies, who are serving the community by themselves in different ways. So we love to sit with them, we love to work with them, partner up with them, and try to add value in any way possible. So with EO, the Entrepreneurs Organization, we just started a partnership. This is to serve South African SMEs and startups. With the University of Cape Town, the Developer Society, they go through our training courses, they get certified, etc., etc. And of course, these kind of partnerships are usually complementary services that Zoho provides to empower and enable businesses or startups or the students on their side. We are going to announce a few more partnerships in the next few weeks. We don't have the permission yet, so stay tuned, and we will definitely let you know. More in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Varsity, Pretoria, etc., etc. Okay, this is the exciting news now. We just opened our office in Cape Town. So I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we can all go to Cape Town. We are not Zoholics. what if we do so? So this office is in Cape Town. I don't know the location. It's a surprise. They haven't told us. But it's very exciting. I believe it's around 200 square meters. Yeah, it's quite large.
500.
Yeah.
500.
Square meters.
Yes.
Oh, geez. That's pretty large. So, but it's easy to fill for sure for with workshops. This is a space for partners as well. It's not just for our team. So if you are a partner, this location is yours as well to use as you like. Bring your customers, bring your prospects. Let's have that conversation if you like. And everybody's more than welcome to join and use it. It's not a picture. The training room. So as you can see, we're serious about the country. This is our first office in the country and in the continent. Actually, the Cape Town office beat us to, we beat the Cairo office. We have a physical space, but we're still waiting for some permission. Thanks to the team here, they pushed you forward. Awesome. So, let's talk about Zoho One a little bit, because this has been on top of our agenda. The ideal scenario that we've been working on for quite some time was to imagine that a business of any size, especially SMEs, where you're facing a lot of challenges, you have enough problems on a day-to-day basis to survive, to grow, to innovate, to stay relevant, and then there's technology. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of everything is coming at you. You have to deal with a lot of other things. You end up building a system that is actually more expensive to maintain than the advantages that we have or the ROI you're expecting. So our dream was to build a system that an SME enters with just a domain name. You book your domain, $10 a year, and we give you from website, email, productivity, to finance, back office, sales, marketing, everything available to that business if they choose to. Of course, with a little bit of guidance either from Zoho partners. And it has to be integrated, easy to use, relevant, and cost effective. You cannot charge an SME an arm and a leg for just giving you a system. It's impossible. And Zoho One came out of that idea. And to this date, after we launched it in November 2017, the growth has been phenomenal. And that's a testament that we've been doing something right. Today, we have more than 45 applications on Zoho One, and every Zoho One customer will get free access to any new app that we add to the collection. That's the promise of Zoho One. You're a Zoho One member. If we add one or two new apps, which we did like Begin, we added last year, you have complimentary access to it. On average, and to our surprise, more than 18 apps are used per company. We thought, okay, we're going to give Zoho One to people that use 5, 6, 10 apps. But an average of 18 apps are being used in an average scenario, which means that the companies are even enabled more in their digital transformation journey. Well, this is the sweet spot. Yeah, here, you see, this is the companies of number of apps. Yeah, you can see that they start, a lot of people start from 6 to 9, 9 to 12 apps, and then it kind of normalizes towards 18. Usually customers start with 20 apps, with 5 apps, and then they normalize within 15 to 18. Why is this important? Is that we managed to touch 18 areas at least. 15 to 18 areas of improvement for an average business. Was it finance? Was it marketing? Was it logistics? So that's quite impressive. We are also learning from this experience. One example, just to show that Zoho One is not for the SME or the micro SME, is very well capable to serve a very large organization. 28,000 employees. IIFL is a financial institution, a very large financial institution in India. They managed to migrate in a very robust program from the other providers, all of these functions to Zoho One and Zoho One with 28,000 employees. So they have all sorts of financial divisions and departments, which I have no idea except the loans. And they managed to move. They started with CRM. The journey started with one app. They got exposed to Zoho. Okay, what are you selling? CRM. Fine, we can improve ourselves. Fine. All right, what else do you have? And then get the idea. And they move to Zoho ultimately. So on the left side is where the apps they used to use, and these are the apps they're using now on Zoho. So these are some of them. 4 on this page, 8, 12. And there's 44 applications. There's a number of apps that they're using. Imagine the chaos before Zoho 1. They were dealing with at least 20 to 30 different vendors. Now they're dealing with one vendor. You have a new employee, you activate, the employee leaves, you deactivate. You don't find out 16 months later, oh, the guy still has access to our Instagram. This happens. So, as you know, we offer our applications single. It's like a Lego box. You can build your own house with it, one by one. You can pick and choose whichever that is suitable for you. Free edition of that, ultimate edition of the other one, professional edition of something else, or go to bundles and platforms. CRM Plus if you're very focused on sales and marketing, Finance Plus if you're focused on finance. You might have other software that you don't want to migrate from. No problem, you can integrate, you can plug it in. And ultimately, you go for the operating system for business, Zoho 1. Get everything, pick and choose whatever you like to use. Just to quickly wrap up, talk about our open culture, our inclusiveness, our long-term focus in the region and in the globe. We want to be one of the top 5, if not top 3 leading technology companies in the world. Not in terms of just numbers, but also culture. And the culture part of it is that privacy, is the morality, is an ethics that has been leaving technology, unfortunately, the past 10 years. This industry needs to be regulated. If there are no regulations, we regulate ourselves. The ethics are unchangeable. Transnational localism, this is a vision, it's a long-term vision we started a couple of years ago. Local offices employing teams from the local people because it bolsters job creation, closer to the community. We understand and learn more about the requirements and needs of every single country, and it helps us grow much better and keeps us on our toes and also humble. It's all about education. It's not just selling software to someone. It's not just about teaching or sharing the experience of how to use the software. It's about how to do the business. Why do you even use a CRM? It's not about just a fancy contact manager. It's about revolutionizing your sales process. So we work on that as well. We are strengthening our partners, as Andrew mentioned. People, friends with Green Lanyard, they're our partners, an extension of our team. And also, another thing that we are doing, and I think we have probably 3 or 4 integrations so far, local integrations with local payment gateways, banks, to make sure that the businesses can do business much easier. Focus on customer experience and employee experience. I talked about this, but I cannot stress this enough. We often forget about our employees. We do things to them, not for them. And they retaliate, knowingly or unknowingly. We throw a system at them, they're resistant to change. Let's walk with them and make sure that they become the champions of change within the organization. And they'll make sure the customer is happy. We talked about the breadth and depth of our software and our technology and our philosophy. And the fact that we will never stop innovating. We're not perfect, we know that. We're getting better and better at serving our customers, innovating, bringing new technologies, and making sure that technology works for you. It's not something shiny and fancy and expensive. And it's not your turn as our customers, as our friends, as our partners to take this journey with us or continue the journey with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks very much, Ali. Appreciate that. So